check 1 2. Miami on the Rocks. Casey Chopz. Make sure you follow us on Instagram at MIA on the Rocks. Follow us on YouTube. Hit that subscribe button. Today's guest, bro, I think I've known you like 10 years almost.
At least.
Right? I got my brother DJ Fergie in here. DJ, one of the big DJs in the city, Miami, and Pilot, by the way. Be clear.
Just a luxury Uber driver. I just point A to point B.
So we're gonna get into everything, man. I first met Fergie. I was working at Power 96 on the radio station, and they said, yo, we want to do something on Sundays where, you know, everybody knows Miami is a heavily Caribbean market, and they wanted to do a Caribbean show, a reggae show on Sundays. And they're like, do you know anyone that, you know, that we could get to do this show? And I didn't really know anybody, but I hear, yo, they got these dudes, Fergie and Springer, to come through. It's going to be 3 hours of straight Caribbean music. And on the radio, to play 3 hours of music that is like the off music that you don't really hear on the radio was like some
unheard of. Yeah.
Bro. So I'll never forget. I was like, all right, let me check this out. I turned on the radio, bro, and it was like crazy soca, like on Power 96, on commercial radio, you know? So, Fergie, my brother, first of all, how are you?
I'm good, bro. We still alive. Blessed to be here, bro. Like, congrats on the show, by the way.
I love it. I appreciate it, bro. I appreciate it. I want to get to your story, bro, because like you said, you came up as under like a Caribbean DJ, correct?
100%, yeah.
So your roots are Jamaican, right?
Yep.
And you're from New York, correct?
Born and raised.
Okay, so tell me the transition of you coming from New York to Miami and just...
So New York to Miami is more like my moms and pops wanted to move to Florida, better life. Because growing up in New York, like I didn't grow up in like the best part of New York.
Right.
I grew up in the
Brooklyn?
hood. Brooklyn, yeah.
Okay.
Flatbush and Ocean by the Junction. Used to spend too much time in Vanderveer. And I went to Marine Park and PX 193, so on and so forth. But I wasn't exactly with the perfect crowd.
Yeah.
All right. So I learned my lesson pretty early out. Family said, you know what? Let's go to South Florida.
They were early on it because now everyone is like...
2003. Cheap rent, cheap car insurance, like more land for your money. So let's go.
Yeah.
So move out to Florida. Mind you, like in New York, I was so Jamaican, bro. Like you couldn't tell me nothing about hip hop.
Yeah.
The only hip hop I had and I knew, Jay-Z, Biggie, Lil Tupac.
Wow.
2003, moved out to South Florida. I went to Piper High School in Broward. Okay. That's when I was like,
shit, but Piper wasn't the best school either, bro. Like,
yeah, that shit was wild. But you understand, coming from New York, Piper was a nice school. What do you mean? I was like, they're like, oh, this school is bad. I'm like, what? You guys got all this room? You guys have textbooks? They only got one
stabbing a month. It's not that bad.
I was like, they let you take the textbooks home? Like, we can't do that in New York.
Damn. Yeah. So you moved to Miami, and were you dabbling in DJing at that time in New York, or you got into it? Okay.
Yeah, so New York, I started DJing. It was like summer 2000, 2001. I was like around 13, and my pops had a not kid baby shower, but like a kiddie party to do. Right? So he was like, look, and he DJ'd nighttime.
Oh, Pops was a DJ.
He was in the game.
Wow.
Like he was in the game
like
every
a Caribbean
night.
DJ?
100% on the radio. Yep.
Wow.
Pops used to have the city locked in his days. Like
on New York radio?
In New York, yeah.
What was his name?
They knew him as Father Fergie. Right. So that's how, like, for me, I was like, yo, I'm not gonna be Fergie Jr., little Fergie, young Fergie. No. I'm the DJ, he's the father. That's it. So DJ Fergie, Father Fergie.
Fire. Yeah. So you move over here, and you said you moved over here 2003, right?
Yeah.
And you dabbling into the DJ, like you're in high school at Piper. What's going on? Are you doing parties? Are you doing high school parties?
I'm doing high school parties. I'm doing school gigs. I'm doing like backyard parties, house parties. Salute my brother DJ Illusion, aka Mixed by Illusion.
Okay.
I linked up with him in high school. Like he had vinyl, I had vinyls. He's a DJ, I'm a DJ. Like, yo, let's just collab. And we started doing clubs like Congas, the Spanish nights.
Conga, bro, that was the first club I ever went to in my life, dog. I think that was
Sunrise. Yeah,
that's crazy.
Yeah, we was out there in that back room DJing. Salute to LC back in the days.
Damn, man, shout out to LC.
It was a vibe, man.
That's fire, bro.
And we were just like DJing for the Boys and Girls Club, volunteering here and there. It's like, yo, I like the DJ, you like the DJ. He knew the hip hop, I knew the reggae. We linked up and said, you know what? I'll teach you what I know, you teach me what I know. And then at that time, music was transitioning from vinyl to CDs.
That's right.
So it was like, let's burn this on CD. I burned that, and then here you go, here I go, and let's go.
Fire. So how does the Power 96 connection go?
So Power happened, fast forward to 2009, All right. Now, I linked up with Springer out of high school. Right. He in the reggae world was like, yo, you play your sound. I have my sound. We was at a party. I didn't know him from nowhere. He didn't know me from nowhere. So it's like me versus you right now. The party's flopped, so nobody's here. So,
but isn't in the Caribbean parties you have someone on the mic that's separate from, like, you have the selector, then you
most
have,
of the time,
got
yes.
you. But this wasn't like this.
No, because at this point in time, he was down here from New York by himself without his DJ or MC.
Got you.
And I was here by myself without another MC.
So what was your style more in the Caribbean compared to Springer? Like, what was?
We were both just independent DJs.
Got you.
At that time.
Got you. But played everything.
That's it. Well,
got you.
I played mainly reggae with a little hip hop because I picked it up from high school.
Got you.
Right, and he played hip hop and reggae. Like, he was more versatile than I was at the time.
Got you. So Power 96 brings on Fergie and Springer to do this as a tandem, to do this reggae show on Sundays. And how does that feel for you, bro? Is that your first time on radio?
It was. Well, we were doing Springer and I was doing online radio. Salute to Mix 96. We was doing Mix 96 online radio at the time. So Big Lip had heard the show, and Big Lip was like, yo, I need to find these guys. So he asked around, got our contact, said, hey, I want you guys to meet Tom Calicochi. Salute to Tom.
Yeah. A lot of people didn't like him, bro. But looking back, I'm like, yo, he's one of the best PDs. Because me and you, we went through like, what, 3-4 different PDs?
I think like Tom was Bill Tanner. Rest in peace, Tanner.
Yeah. Jill.
P.O. Salute to P.O. and Jill, yeah.
Yeah, man. Damn. So you're doing the reggae show on Sundays, and it's picking up traction. A lot of people are talking about it. And are you in the clubs at this time too? Like, what is the first like residency that you can remember that you're like, damn, like this is?
So we were doing Madhouse Fridays at that time.
Oh, I remember that.
Yes.
That was an Opium, right? In the Hard Rock, when Opium was in the Hard Rock.
Before it became Opium, it was Spirits nightclub.
That's right. You did it when it was Spirits?
When it was Spirits.
And we were jits at that time though, dog, right? We were like 19.
Yeah. I was just an employee working. That was it. I made it in the building. We just did our thing in the reggae room, and then occasionally when the hip hop DJ was late, all right, well, we'll fill in the hip hop room and make it work.
Yeah. Damn, that era in the Hard Rock was legendary, bro. Yes, I kind of miss it. You been to like the new, I'm not going to say, but the new clubs and the new scene over there since they rebuilt it?
I went during COVID. I saw it. I'm like, it looks gorgeous, but it's not the same chemistry.
It's not the same, bro. I DJ'd in one of the clubs in the new Hard Rock, and I was like, it just made me I kind of got depressed because it's nicer, but it feels more Vegas. It doesn't have that feel that, passions and spirits.
It's not a party. It's more like a vibe,
like a manufactured tourist thing. Like, because it was crazy because that era in the Hard Rock, it was tourists, but it was like locals, like mixed, like it was heavy, like
everybody,
and it
wasn't so much VIP driven. It was more, hey, we're all here, we're gonna party and we're gonna have fun. We're not
it wasn't just sell tables. It was just like more GA based, I guess, right?
And they had the tables, the VIP sections, and you had your different booths if you wanted to go like that. But
it's the dance floors which made it. But then now you reminded me of me and you. We had a nice little era with Dream on Fridays.
Yep.
And that was a straight up table service vibe right there, bro.
It was tables, but then it's like they had a table vibe going on, but the party was surrounded by the tables too. So it's kind of like, you got your table, but you gonna party because everybody else is partying.
Yeah, that's crazy, bro.
Salute to Andre Ricardo.
Oh, shout out to Dre, the firm, bro. Shout out to Dre. He's in Palm Beach chilling, living the retired life and shit. He don't want to come back in the game. Dre, come on, bro.
We waiting.
Facts. But so how did you come up like your mic game it's hard to find DJs that are equally as good on the turntables and on the mic at the same time. So how did you develop that mic game? Like,
man, salute to Springer on that one. Because like, truth be told, 2006 when I started out, like really going at it, I was the worst. Right, I was on some like stuttering on the mic, and
I think that's everybody though, right? When they start, you know what I mean.
But it's kind of like after a while, you just realize that sometimes you just got to rise to the occasion. Like you look at the clock in the back, and then you just talk. But what I find myself doing these days is like, all right, even when I'm nervous, there's times where I get on a stage, concert, 13,000, 14,000 people, and I don't know what I'm gonna play. I don't know what I'm gonna say, but let's look out there, put a smile on, find one person, and We just gonna have a conversation.
Yeah.
So like I almost call like the what do you call it? The slick Rick. He tells a story. So I just try to make sure what I'm saying makes sense with the song that's coming up.
Because that's to be clear, that's very like the Caribbean style to kind of say a little story, a little thing before the song, and then the first line of the song mixes in with what you said to finish the story. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's crazy. I talked to a young DJ as well. He's like, yo, can you give me any advice on the mic? Because he was sounding a little timid, I told him, bro, talk to the crowd like they're your sons. Yep. Like, and you're like disciplining them, like, you know what I'm saying, like, because you have the power, like,
and you don't have to yell necessarily, but just have a conversation.
Talk with bass, like like you know what it is, like talk to them firm, like they're your sons, and you're kind of disciplining.
Say with your chest.
Exactly, you know what I mean. But so fast forward, and what separates Fergie from all these other DJs, besides him like being heavily into the Caribbean scene that can rock those parties as well. Wait, first of all, I want to get into like, have you ever done like Carnival? And been to those type of things?
Yeah.
What is Fergie, I haven't gone to Carnival yet, man. Like, what is, like, you've DJ'd and people are jumping off like fences, doing like splits on people and shit?
Man,
like,
that's just the culture. It's just kind of like the music takes control and you just enjoy the vibe. Like,
damn, dog.
Well, Carnival is different, man. Carnival is just like, imagine beachwear attire with feathers and colors.
I don't have to imagine. It's on my IG. It's on my feed, Fergie. It's on Instagram, and I see these girls like, damn, like.
It's just like, yeah. We gotta remember, Carnival now is like people get together, different bands, different trucks, right? They're drinking, right? A beverage of your choice, right? And after a while in the sun, it soaks in. All right, so once it soaks in and then the beat hits you, you just feel real nice, and it's kind of like, well, hey, let's just have fun and just dance the day away.
Can you think of the craziest thing that you've seen at Carnival, like at one of those parties? Like, I've seen videos. I mean,
keep in mind, like, so I did Carnival here in Miami maybe twice, and I did the New York version of Carnival was the Labor Day parade in New York, right?
What's the crazier? Like, is the real Carnival in Jamaica or like in Trinity, like in like?
Real Carnival is in Trinidad.
Got you.
Trinidad, I said, I love my Trini friends. I love my Trini family, but I can't keep up with Carnival in Trinidad.
Really?
It's like, just imagine a month of going like partying Carnival for a
whole month
straight. It's like festivities, all the parties, basically like a month straight, bro. Like they take Carnival serious.
Yeah.
Like,
so what are you gonna say? Aside from New York and Miami, like,
so as far as the craziest thing I've seen at Carnival, I mean, in New York, you've seen people jump off the trucks and jump onto somebody, and they do all the grind and stuff, right? But back in the days, like when I first started going, it was a little wild. I mean, there was fights break out, and then like. People almost got ran over by the trucks. It was like, it was a scary scene.
Jeez.
So now it's a lot nicer than what it used to be.
Yeah.
But yeah.
That's what's up. So like I was saying before, what separates you from all these other DJs is being, like Fergie, like we've been in the game for a long time, over 10 years,
Facts.
And what I look at now is like what DJs are doing outside of DJing. You know what I mean? Like, and I think we all get to a point in our career to where it's like, all right, what comes next? You know what I mean? Like, what do we do next? And you see certain DJs, start companies, and certain DJs, whether, they like to cook, you find out like what their second passion is, right?
Yeah.
You, boom, come with the rollout of, you're getting your pilot's license. And it's like, oh shit, a DJ who's a pilot. See, that's a different pivot that we haven't seen yet. You know what I'm saying? Right. And you fly, you're a pilot, you're a DJ. Let's be clear. You're in the club on the weekends, rocking the club, and then you're flying private planes like during the weekend shit, right? Yeah. So how does it, first of all, walk me through like where your mind was at when you decided to first tell yourself, okay, I want to do something outside of DJing, and then what made you pick being a pilot? Like,
so once again, salute the spring on this one, because I left high school in 06, all right, and I said, all right, that's it. I'm gonna be a pilot, no more DJing. At that time, we were so hot in the streets and so hot in the clubs that it was kind of like, how are you gonna walk away from this hot platform at this point that we thought was our peak?
So you always wanted to be a pilot,
right?
Why? Like what?
It was just, as a kid, my aunt got me a little book, and it was kind of like you turn the page, like you're holding the yoke of the pilot yoke, and you turn the page and just show you what the airport looks like. And I just always had a fascination. Look up in the sky. Living in New York, you see like the airplanes take off and TWA and all that stuff. Like,
that's crazy. For the people that don't know, my whole family, like for 4 generations, have been pilots. I'm the first one on my mom's side out of the men that is not a pilot.
Yeah.
So yeah. I mean, bro. I don't know. But I see, like, I had my cousin. He's our age as well. And when we were kids, bro, like 5, 6 years old, he would have the books, looking at the book, and he'd look in the sky and be like, "Yo, B-48, or whatever," and he would call out the planes in the sky, bro. And then one summer, they lived on the West Coast. One summer, they fly me to California to hang out with my cousin, and they take us to an aviation camp in Fresno, California. It was an aviation school. And I was like, bro, 10 years old, and I'm there. I'm like, whatever. I'm the sports kid that likes to play basketball. My cousin's like the aviation geek. You know what I'm saying? But we're in these, like, it was an overnight camp for a week. We're in these simulators and shit, doing all the simulator stuff. And I remember, like, yo, this shit is cool, bro. Like, so you go from wanting to be a pilot, but you couldn't give up the DJ thing because you guys are at your peak. You're getting traction on the radio. So take me to.
So basically, what I did is we had gigs every Friday and Saturday. Friday being Madhouse. So I said, look, I was training in Fort Pierce, Port St. Lucie. So I would go to Port St. Lucie every Sunday night, Monday morning, do my training all week.
Wait, Fergie, this is happening that long ago? You've been planting this seed for a long time.
Yeah.
Damn.
But you see, what happened was when I finished with like 2008, right? Finished my training was 2008. I could have went to the airlines right away. But the industry was horrible. Like, that's just during the recession where money wasn't really flowing like that. So the pay was like worse than McDonald's. So I was like, there's no getting in at that point. I'm like, what's the point of me going there working for peanuts? I might as well.
And this DJ money is nice right now.
Exactly. Yeah. So keep my DJ money going and keep hustling that way. And we'll see later on in life.
So when did you get the pilot's license?
So I had the license since 2008.
What?
Since 2008.
You kept it on the tuck, like nobody knew.
It's been in my back pocket. Like every now and then, let me go get a plane, let me go rent. And then even though I used to work at the airport on the side, do out this DJing stuff, part-time. So while I'm there, meet this guy, hey, I have a plane, need somebody to go with you, let's go. I drop you off, I bring the plane back. Like, I've always had access to the plane. Always. Wow. So it's just kind of like, sometimes I'll call my buddy, hey, what you doing? Let's go to Bahamas for a second, be right back.
Wow. So when was the first time that you actually flew a plane, like by yourself?
Solo would be 2006, like fourth quarter 2006.
Oh my God, I had no idea. Fergie, I thought this was like four years ago. You were like, yo, I want to be a pilot. Like,
now, what it is 2018 was the year when I said, you know what, like, let me start making some money with this.
Got you.
The DJ money is good,
right?
But what I realized is I was spending too much time, like, traveling here, there, and everywhere to make the money. So I said, let me just try and fight to get my time back now, where I can maximize off the money and get my time back. So that's my only struggle in life now. Like, I want more time back and more money. So let me figure out how I can make it work.
Yeah. Did you have did you have any feelings toward DJing in 2018 that made you kind of want to shift? Like, did you have like, because the game is messed up, or like I was
still DJing. The only thing I eased up off of was about late 2017, early 18, when I started getting back into the aviation. I eased up off of the South Beach stuff because I was like, all right, for me to transition into this, I really got to focus and give all my energy into studying.
Right.
But once I study and I like black out for like a month, 2 months, right, it means I can't be there for the residency X, Y, Z. So I said, all right, let me just focus here, get this going, and then I'll be back. And when I come back, get everything going again.
Do you have like, I think all DJs have this feeling, and I think we're at that age too. Like, do you feel like you can't be a DJ like later in life? Like, because I look at guys like legends, whether it's Camilo or like Mauricio, and I look at them like, okay, they're, in their 40s and they're still DJing, and they're still, in my mind, they don't look crazy, like, so I think to myself, like, because some people be like, do you want to be in the club your whole life? Is that something that like, how do you see yourself aging in as far as DJing?
So for me, like, the way I look at it is there's no age limit on it.
Right.
As long as you're not like 60 years old doing Sweet 16s now. Then you look crazy.
As long as you're not looking crazy.
Right. You could, because remember, at the end of the day, like, your audience, your fans that you grew with, they get older, you get older.
Right.
So you can shift your direction and your demographic and say, all right, I'm gonna move with this audience here, here, and here, and just keep it like that. Me personally, my only in my own life is I feel like somebody taught me, so it's only right that I teach the next person. So I'm like, all right, who's next? Who wants to be on? Who needs help? Like,
Got you.
come through. I mean, hear you. If you got like the basics, I can point you in the right direction, help you out. Yo, here was a party. Yo, here's this. Here's that.
Got
so
you.
it's like, at least when I say, you know what, I don't want to do clubs no more, or I don't want to do parties anymore, this is you.
Got you. Good.
And just do me one favor. Make sure you pass it to the next person. So that way, if I die tomorrow, it doesn't stop with me.
Exactly. Damn.
That's my only MO.
That's real, bro. It's like, I think the goal is to DJ when you want, not DJ because you have to. You know what I'm saying? Like, do you see yourself ever like letting go of the DJing and being a pilot full time? Like,
I've had the conversation. I thought I would have let it go. Nah, I love it too much.
Yeah.
When I say I love it, like, it's just sometimes I just have to just give me a really loud system with a really heavy bass, and I just be in love. Like, I won't go to sleep. That's it. Just like play music, and that's it. It's a vibe. Like,
damn. So, how's the pilot life now? Like, what made you want to do the private vibe? What made you not want to go? Like, did you ever want to go to the military and do the fighter jet type thing? Did you ever want to like?
I didn't want to do the military thing because once again, like, my biggest fear was leaving during my peak.
Oh,
so like leaving the game right now, and to say, okay, all right, I'm gonna just stop cold turkey is hard.
And do a full commitment to something else.
The thought of that alone is hard.
Yeah.
So I'm like, all right. Private for me was like, all right, cool. Well, I can go fly, all right, and then I know I have some days off. But then
so it's like
better.
the part-time vibe of being a private guy.
Well, it's a full-time gig, but I knew I had a lot of time off.
Got you.
So I made the time off work, and then I was like, wait, so I'm going to this city tomorrow, be in LA. Well, I got LA contacts, so when do I leave? I leave Sunday night, so that means I can go out Saturday night, then sleep in all day and still get my full required rest to do a Sunday night flight. So, Miss Promoter or Mr. Promoter, what's up? I'm in your city.
Yeah.
I'll be there. Don't worry about hotel. Don't worry about the flight. I'll fly myself there. Just add that on top of the bag and I'm good.
Yeah.
That's it.
Damn. So have you, bro, flying an airplane, dog, have you had any like scary moments? Like, have you any like, you know what I mean? Like I get scared. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I think I still have trouble flying sometimes, like, because I'm a control freak. So to even like, I don't even like letting people drive. I like to drive. You know what I'm saying? Because I know I'm in control. If so, you know what I mean? Like, so to know that like your life is in the hands of someone like that's, 50 feet in front of you and they have a door and you can't even see what they're doing and you're just chilling. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that shit bugs me out sometimes, like, are there ever times where there's actually like the pilot like panicking, or not maybe panicking, but like, like flustered? Like,
I mean, I've seen it a few times with like, even when I was in training at one point, like when I was doing training, I went to rent a plane so I can fly by myself. Before they let you fly by yourself, you have to fly with an instructor. So I was flying one day. It's one of those small twin engine planes. All right, we go to take off and we just go back around.
Like a private plane type vibe, where it's like regular?
Yeah, the propeller planes. All right.
Oh,
so the door pops open. All right.
During the flight?
Yeah. So we're not that high. I mean, like 3,000 feet off the ground. All right.
So what is that? That's like jumping out of an airplane when you're skydiving, kind of, right?
That's even lower than that.
Oh,
like,
okay.
It's really not that high above the buildings. So I'm like, oh man, the door popped open. In my head, I'm thinking, man, I have my favorite hat in the back seat. My hat's gonna fly out the door. That's it. I look down a little bit. I'm like, man, there's no way I'm gonna find my hat down there while I'm flying. I'm just thinking about that, but I'm still flying.
Solo in the plane?
Nah.
Okay.
So I'm with an instructor now, and the instructor guy, he freaks out. He reaches over and tries to grab the door and close it. I'm like, dude, it's just the door. I'm not gonna fall out. You're not gonna fall out. We're gonna go land and then close the door. So it's like little things like that is in my mind. I've been trained to not panic when things hit the fan. So fast forward now, we're in Jamaica now in one of the Lear jets at the time, right? And we going to take off, right? And the pressurization system had a fault. Something went wrong with it. So imagine you're going to take off, right? Powerful forward. You're going down the runway, and all of a sudden, hot air just rushes like, psh, and the air just starts rushing in the cabin. When I say hot air, I'm talking about like
sauna type shit.
Like not even like 300 degrees.
What?
Like all rushing in at one time as they're getting ready to take off, going down the runway. So I have to abort takeoff. I wasn't the captain flying, somebody else was. So abort takeoff. So he pulls back and then we stop and we get out. It's kind of like.
So he just brakes real quick before the end of the runway.
Power back, get on the brakes, all right, and then put the thrust reversers out before we take off. It's just kind of like, mind you, in Jamaica, this is Kingston Airport. Mm-hmm. There's rocks and then there's water.
Yeah.
So it's like if you don't stop in time, rocks and water, choose one.
Damn. Dog.
So I mean, for me, it was kind of like, all right, well, abort takeoff, what happened? We go back and then realize that, okay, well, the system's broken. So basically, we can't fly higher than 8,000 feet. Mm-hmm. So we ended up flying from Jamaica to Miami, 8,000 feet.
Damn, how much longer does that take?
It's like, I think like a 2.5 hour flight. Maybe a little longer. I don't remember how much longer.
Yeah.
But the thing that got me at that point was like, man, I'm 8,000 feet over the water. He passed Cuba and they had like a little mountain or whatever. So I'm looking and like, yeah, we're higher than this, but it gets hairy because if anything happens, you're going in the water. There's no time to even go anywhere else.
Oh, I get what you're saying.
So it's like, I didn't get scared per se, but it was just kind of like, man, like this sucks. Like, all right, if things hit the fan in my mind, the life raft is back there, the door is over there. I know my way out of this situation.
Damn, dog. Yeah, bro. I mean, things like turbulence used to really bug me out. And then I'll never forget, like I told you, like my grandfather and my uncle, everyone's pilots, and they gave me an analogy. They're like, yo, just think of turbulence as like if you're driving on the gravel in the road and it's just a bumpy road, that's all it is. The road just went from you driving on pavement to you driving on gravel, and it's bumpy now. That's the only thing that turbulence is.
If you're lucky, sometimes like we went into Bozeman, Montana, and that was the first time in my life I felt like somebody took a hammer and just hit the plane, and like the plane.
That's called wind shear, right?
Well, it was turbulence.
Okay.
Wind shear is going to be a little lower, and then the wind just shifts. All right.
Got you.
But this one was really because we're coming over the mountain to land. All right. So it's like when you go over the mountain, the breeze comes around and it's like all like it's not smooth anymore because it's been disturbed by the mountain. Mm. So we flying,
and the angles of the mountain like mess up like the airflow and shit.
Yeah. So what happened is like we flying and then boom, like the plane just goes. Let's say we're at 8,000 feet. The plane dropped about 1,200 feet in a second.
Damn. That happened to me one time, and they said it was wind shear, but like I'm there and it goes boom down, and you see the people's coffee next to me like go hit the ceiling and shit. I was
too,
like,
I mean, there's times you go into land and then wind shear, like the wind is coming this way, and all of a sudden it shifts and then speed changes. At that point, when you go into land, if the wind shifts like that crazy, that's automatic. You go around. That's like sometimes you see a plane go down perfect, and out of nowhere they just rush back up.
Yeah. Damn. They say, is it true that landing is the hardest part about flying?
Yeah, it is. It is.
But now it's easier, right? Because they have all technology with systems and shit. So does it do it for you now, or no? You still got to do it.
All right, don't get it twisted. Some planes, right, at certain airports can land all the way down without seeing anything outside. Right. So like, let's say it's completely like foggy outside. You can't see a mile in front of you. Mm-hmm. Some planes, some airports can land all the way to the ground and stop on its own.
You mean some planes or some airports allow you?
So some planes, basically the airport has to have the equipment that's required so that you can do that.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Damn, dog.
So, but some planes can actually do it. So as far as autopilot and so on and so forth, yeah, there's autopilot out there that can actually take you down and basically land for you and then stop for you. Mm-hmm. Do all the planes have it? No.
Damn.
Especially in the private world. Good luck.
Does it make it harder when it's like, first of all, is it a big difference for you nighttime and daytime?
Nighttime gives you more different illusions. So for example, daytime you can see normal, but nighttime you feel like you're higher than you really are. And then like, for example, I went to DR. I forgot what part of DR. But going in there at nighttime, no problem. Yeah, just follow your instruments, go down, do a perfect landing. The next morning when we saw the sun, I was like, wow, we were next to this big mountain. Like, mind you, a mountain at nighttime is pitch black.
So how do you know if there's a mountain there, Fergie?
Well, we have like terrain on the terrain radar on the plane, so we can see. But it's got like you can see it when you're basically goes green, yellow, red. If you see red, that means you're too close to, or you're too low, like in the mountain. All right. So we see green. All right, cool. Yellow. I see red, but red is not in front of me. I'm fine.
Yeah.
But it's just like nighttime. You don't know what's out there.
I remember them telling me when I moved to Medellin in Colombia, because that shit is all mountains. They told me that they built a new airport there, which is kind of outside of, because Medellin is in a valley, and they moved the airport outside of the valley. But the airport in Medellin in the 90s and I think the early 2000s used to be in a valley. Have you heard about this airport?
Yep. Very dangerous.
To land, they say that you have to like do a spiral down to land in the valley, because like the mountains and shit and the way the wind shit, like. Yeah, that shit crazy. What about the rain? Does that do anything, or the snow? Like, does that affect how you fly?
Like, so yes. So rain and snow. Like, for example, let's say it's raining in New York. All right. Temperature outside like 40 degrees. Right. Every 1,000 feet up you go, it gets 2 degrees colder. Right.
Right.
So it might be rain on the ground, but once you take off and you start climbing up to altitude, that becomes ice now.
Right.
You'll
see the ice on the on the windows sometimes when you fly.
Yeah, and then the ice, like just imagine you're trying to run, and you keep picking up all this ice. It's more weight on you now. Right. So now you're getting heavier and heavier, and then you get to a point where you become frozen. Once you're frozen, you're gonna fall. There's nothing you can do. Same concept of the plane. If you get too much ice in the plane too fast, and you don't have a system like any ice to stop it, or the wing heat and stable. If you don't have the heat to stop it or melt it off, it's gonna slow the plane down. Plane's gonna fall out the sky.
So the planes have systems to melt the ice that's on the plane.
Most of them have systems to do that. Some planes they actually have like a older system where it's like instead of melting the ice, it's anti-ice fluid, so to say. So once the fluid runs out, you're screwed.
Damn, dog.
I've been in a plane on a contact flight one time, and we were up at altitude, maybe like 40-something thousand feet, and ran into icing. I'm like, ice is not supposed to stick, but it was sticking, and the ice was building up. And we're like, yeah, we got to get out of this. So press a descent and just dive down. And
at what point is rain an issue? Like in Miami, like for example, we have thunderstorms and rain all the time here. And, you know, we all know that pilots fly above the clouds and shit, like to avoid. But at some point, if you got to land, you got to go. First of all, it seems like the most turbulence is when you're going through clouds, especially the rain clouds and shit. So at what point is it not safe to go under the clouds and to try to land?
So like, how to put this? Like the rain clouds and the thunderstorms, like just look at it as a big circle, right? At some point in the storm is gonna go up and build, and that's when you fly through that and you get thrown up, right? And at another point is gonna come down, all right? So now the problem is you don't know when it's going up.
What part of the cycle you're in?
Right. So let's say you're flying through it, you're at 1,000 feet above the ground, and you just happen to be in a cycle where it goes down. If that pushes you down, it can push you down 2,000-3,000 feet in a second. It's gonna slam you to the ground, and then you have no control because there's nothing you can do. Right. So that's why instead of flying through it when they know it's very strong, like a red cell, we call it moderate or severe to moderate, you don't fly through that. You stay 20 miles away from that.
Gotcha.
So once you fly through that, then it's a wrap. So instead of landing in that, that's why planes circle around the airport and
to wait for the cell to go down to a
move.
less.
Because it's gonna move. It's just a matter of time before it moves.
Got you. Damn, that's crazy. Yeah, I remember landing in a thunderstorm one time too, and that shit was scary because that turbulence was wild, and it takes like a special type of pilot with skill to do that type of shit, to like land. And
truth be told, we're all trained. It's just based on your experience. You just have to know how to. I call it feeling the plane out or being one with the plane. Like a lot of times when I fly, I just disconnect the autopilot. Like let me feel what the plane wants to do. Like it's me and you. So like sometimes you gotta do the crosswind landing, bro. Like this is the runway here, and I'm pointing completely sideways
because you know the wind is gonna bring you back.
Well, the wind is pointing from this way,
right?
But if I go straight, the wind's gonna push me off away from the runway,
right? You have systems that tell you like how to like time that misdirection and shit, or you just gotta.
That's all like stick and rudder skills we call it.
Damn.
Like you gotta know what to do, and it's kind of like you just keep it sideways until you get down the land, you get to the ground, then you straighten up and you put it down.
Damn. Bro, I think about that pilot at the Hudson River, bro, when I got the bird in the end. Like, a bird could really fuck up everything, huh? Like, that's crazy, bro.
We've had a few bird strikes, and it's kind of like, I mean, one hit the wing, RIP to the bird. The wing was fine. You just see, like, the little blood on the wing, whatever. And
but if they go on the engine, it's an issue, right? Like, that's
I mean, there's been a bird that going through the engine, and then basically have to inspect the engine, like, literally take the whole engine apart, look at everything blade for blade to make sure it didn't cause any damage that can make the engine like go bad in the future.
Is it true? Like, I know, like, for example, if I'm going like to the West Coast, it seems like planes, their route, they just go from like airport to airport. Is that true? Like, it seems like they're gonna go from here, then they're gonna fly to like the New Orleans airport, then they're gonna fly over the Houston airport. And do they do that just in case they have to land at an airport? Like, does it seem, or am I bugging?
Might be a little buggy.
Yeah.
It's just a coincidence of how the airports line up along the route.
Got you.
It's probably that.
Is there and is it east to west is faster than west to east?
West to east is faster.
Yeah,
because the wind is typically behind you, blowing you that way.
Got you. So you're doing private shit, bro. Are you like flew a plane for Ross and he's like smoking blunts in the cabin and shit? Like, have you done no flash rapper shit like that?
I've had a few hip hop rappers and celebrities on board. Mm-hmm. Now, have they been smoking on board with me? Nah. All right. Yeah. Thank God I haven't. Mm-mm. Now, people say like in Colorado, because you know you can. It's I guess it's legal to smoke in Colorado. All right. So hey, they want to bring this on board, bring that on board. Unfortunately, all right, the airport is considered federal property, not state. So it's governed by federal rules. Federal rules don't allow you to smoke weed or have weed. So unfortunately, I tell them, like, you can do whatever you want outside of the airport fences. That's your business. But once you cross the fence, like, my license is on the line, my life is on the line. Yeah. So is yours. So I'll appreciate if you just leave whatever it is outside. Yeah. But I haven't had anybody smoke my flights.
Have you done like a cross overseas trip yet? Have you done like a Europe vibe yet? Or like a...
No. I was supposed to go pick up a plane from, Switzerland? But I got too busy DJing.
Do private planes do that? Like, is there any difference with that? Like going overseas, like long flights like that? You just got to alternate, right? Like if you're taking a road trip, like one pilot hops on, then the next one sleeps, or like that.
Well, no. Well, because we only fly two-man crew. So there's no sleeping. You're both awake and you're both just going.
Damn, bro. Yeah. What are some pilots doing with that door closed, dog? Some of them, like, you know, like, I don't know, bro.
I mean, what do they do? I don't know. Yeah. Pilots I fly with, first off, we keep the doors open, right? Because it's kind of like
it's private, right? It's intimate.
Yeah, you pay $50,000 for the flight, $60,000, whatever it is. Like, the least you can do is come up and see the view. Like, you paid for it.
Yeah. I mean, I heard that, like, to get your pilot's license, or maybe they do this all the time, but like they do like mental checks for pilots often, right? To make sure you're in a good state of mind to be.
Every year you had to do what's called medical. So like they bring you in, ask you questions, check like make sure you're.
Has your wife cheated on anybody in the last year? Like, make sure you're not fucking suicidal.
It's crazy though, because like sometimes you can't even see that in a person. Like, you won't know until you have a conversation. It's like, this guy's crazy.
Yeah, you're there next to your co-pilot. He's like, man, my wife just cheated on me. Fuck this shit. Like, hey, buddy, relax. You can figure that out later, bro.
I tell people, like, look, like, I don't care what whoever else has, what they have going on. Yeah. I want to go home. Yeah. I want to live to see tomorrow. Yeah. So all of that extra stuff, like, I was flying with a weirdo. He was a crazy guy. And I had to tell him, look, we're flying, right? And that's not allowed. Yeah. Right. So
I try to do like cocaine off the fucking. Let's go.
It was he's a weird guy doing crazy stuff. I'm like, bro, nah, that's not how you fly.
What you mean crazy stuff? Like he was like gonna do a loop and shit? Like bro, like a barrel wall?
I mean, one guy in particular. We were in the islands, and this guy just decides the airport's right there. I'm going to go land, and the controller's like, I have two more planes landing before you. So you're going to fly over here and then go over there. And this guy just decides, no, I'm going to land. And he decides to turn. And I'm like, no, you're not. Yeah. I'm on board and my license is on the line. Yeah. We're going over here. Yeah. And after I got back, I'm like, look, tell me, hear this. I'm not flying with this guy. That's it. I'm not flying with this guy. Because at this point in time, it's like, if you're going to do that and I'm on board, I can't let you risk my license. So guess what? My controls, I have the aircraft.
Yeah.
We're going to do what we're supposed to do. When we get on the ground, then we can talk about whatever you want to talk about.
Yeah.
You can do whatever you want to do with your life on your time, not on mine.
Yo, sometimes when you fly, you see, if you look out the window, you see other planes like going right by you and shit. Do you never have issues with like there can't be a crash or some shit? Like,
oh, I just had an issue in was it Santa Barbara? I think it is. We were going in the land, right? And it's funny because as a pilot, like this is why I kind of love it. I kind of got it from DJing as well, is you got to have situational awareness. That's what we call it in aviation. But in DJing, you gotta like know the room, feel the whole room out.
Be able to call audibles and change the plan.
Right, like you can see they vibing, but they not vibing. So situational awareness, the pilot thing, we go on the land and I'm it's a new captain. He's new to the plane, so I'm kind of like coaching him, not exactly the sharpest, right? So we going to go land and we at 2,000 feet, and I hear the air traffic controller. She's trying to get in contact with this other plane that's supposed to be going around, right, and going behind us to land behind us. She can't get in contact with him. So he's coming, right, and then he starts to turn, right, and I'm looking on my radar. I'm like, wait, all right, this guy is 600 feet below us, all right? We're at 2,000 feet. Once we get to a certain point, we start descending down. We can't see anything out the window,
right?
Because we're like, there's like smoke going on, so we can't see anything. So I'm looking at this guy, he's climbing now. I'm like, all right, so now he's at 400 feet. And then he starts turning towards us. And then she still can't get in contact with him, right? And then the pilot I'm flying with, like once again, he's new, he starts to descend. I'm like, no, my controls, disconnect the autopilot, we're going up. Hey, ATC's so-and-so, November XYZ, we're going around. And we get out of there. And this guy's still turning, he's still climbing. So anyhow, we didn't climb at that second and move out of the way. He's not talking to her. She can't hear nothing.
Yo, how are you a pilot and you can't get in touch with the air traffic control, bro? What is this? Like, you can't miss that phone call, pop. Like,
put it like this. Imagine you're on a walkie-talkie, right? And we all talking on channel A and he's on channel B.
Ooh,
he should be on A, but he's on channel B.
Yeah.
So, but the good thing is, like, by that time, the system on the plane, the TCAS, Traffic Collision Awareness System, says basically like pull up. So it alerted us there's a possible collision and we gotta take action.
Got you. They got the sky set up like roads, right? To where it's like going a certain direction, you got to be at a certain altitude, then going to the right? Like that's how that works?
Yep. 100%.
And is it true, like sometimes you see planes like, you know, moving to downtown, the planes are constantly flying. Is it true like sometimes planes land going from one direction and sometimes they land and take off? Does it change or is it always take off from one direction or land in one direction?
So it changes. The easiest way to tell which way the plane's going to land from, if you ever see a flag flying in the sky, you see the wind changes. So imagine like this is the pole and the flag is waving this way.
Right.
That means the wind is coming this way.
Right.
So planes are going to land into the wind.
So the planes always land into the wind?
Most of the time.
And take off with the wind?
Right. So you take off into the wind and you land into the wind.
Got you.
All right. So you don't take off with the wind.
Right.
Because the wind pushes you. All right. Now there's certain circumstances like landing in Aspen, right, where it's like there's a huge mountain in front of you and there's a runway. And there's no way that you're going to be able to take off and get above the mountain.
Right.
So you might have to take off with the wind behind you.
Got you. Damn.
But then we calculate all that stuff just to make sure that you're going fast and the wind is pushing you faster. So you're going to burn up the runway faster. So you make sure you have your calculations done correctly so that way you take that into consideration. You have less runway to play with.
Is that the hard? What's the most difficult airport to deal with in the country? Like,
between the Aspen and Telluride.
And where?
Telluride in Colorado.
Oh, all mountain shit, right?
Yeah, it was one way in, one way out. And when the winds are kicking up, like it's
cold
nasty.
and shit. Like, damn, bro.
If it's snowing, forget about it. Even worse.
Yeah.
But like this, those two airports, if it's foggy outside and you can't see, you just can't go.
Yeah.
Period. Damn. Like last thing you want to do is get lost with mountains around you.
Yeah.
And you can't see anything.
So I got my brother DJ Fergie in here. Fergie, plug all your social media for people who
at my DJ Fergie, IG, Snapchat, Facebook, if you still use it. I mean, I'm on the SoundCloud.
there it
Bro,
is.
it's love, man. Like,
Yeah, for
KC
sure.
Chopz.
Nah, man, I'm so interested, bro. I'm fascinated with like, you know, like just the whole aviation and how that works. Cause like I said, my family, my cousin is, I wanted to get him on too as well. He's like, bro, the Navy's on some other shit. Like when I leave the Navy next year, like I'm down to do the pod. But like he tells me, bro, like he flies like those fighter jets in the middle and he's on the aircraft carrier. So like he spent like 6 months in the middle of the Pacific, like flying planes and landing them on a little boat. And to land on a little boat, you gotta
it's crazy.
You gotta land between little hoops to catch the plane from falling off the boat, to pull it back as soon as you land. You gotta like he was telling me some crazy shit.
Like they go so hard. Like, boys, like imagine this, right? You gotta land on a moving runway.
Right, rocking and shit.
All right. And if they go to land, right, and the runway just goes up and they go two below, that's it.
Yeah.
So like your cousin, he hats off to him and tell him we appreciate him. Like, thank you for the service. Like,
No, shout out to my cousin Evan, man. He got. Did you ever think about wanting to get a plane, like buy a plane?
100%.
Like what? Like a little Cessna vibe, or like what?
Nah, well, I'm in conversation with my boy, like a little twin engine, like maybe 8-seater, just kind of like, all right, well, kicks and giggles. Let's just fly to DR, fly out to Jamaica, New York, whatever.
With a plane like that, how far can you go? Like,
I mean, depending on which model, you can go from New York nonstop.
what is the altitude that you?
Different, like, so for example, King Air, like 350, you can cruise, like, if I remember correctly, on like 30,000 somewhere.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So you get a weather.
Where do you see like the technology in the future with airplanes and aviation going now? Have you seen any crazy shit like that they're talking about?
It's
like,
crazy. Like on the private side, like the little planes, bro, they got planes that if the pilot passes out, press a button, and the plane's gonna find the airport, land at the airport, and stop.
Everything for AI, bro. That shit is getting crazy, bro.
Then they got like 737 planes now. It's like they got a robotic arm. Like, bro, the arm, one robotic arm could do everything, move the buttons, everything, like land. Bro, it's crazy.
What?
It's coming.
And then now they got drones and shit. That's gonna be the future of war. Like, just there's not gonna be no live airplane. Just gonna be controlling a fucking remote control, and like you're flying a plane with a remote control.
I was watching a advertisement for unmanned airplane, right? And they were saying, "Oh, who's gonna fly a plane with no pilot? Who's gonna do it?" And then their answer or rebuttal was, they said the same thing in the '60s about elevators. Who's gonna ride an elevator with no cabbie guy to control it?
They used to have people controlling elevators?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Did you know that?
Yeah.
I didn't even know that.
I mean, it's on the old school videos where they used to shut the gate down and then the guy close the gate.
Damn. Bro, AI is going to control everything. I mean, I'm tripping with these autonomous cars now. They're going to have cars. They're saying in 5 years that the cars that they're going to be making, they're going to drive themselves.
Yeah.
Like I said, I'm a control freak. That freaks me out, dog. Like giving your control to a robot, but that's gonna be the future, bro. Like our kids, when we have kids, I mean, you have kids, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think like the next generation, their best friends are gonna be like little robots, bro. They're gonna be AI that learn the personality of the kid and of the friend. And
I just want my George Jetson. I want my Rosie in the house. Rosie.
Yeah.
I want one of those.
we're gonna get some flying planes soon, right? Little personal vibes.
Yeah,
I
they
think soon.
exist. It's gonna be scary to see how they regulate that, because if people just drink and drive now,
or drink and fly, like what?
Like,
I mean, you see stories of like pilots, right? I think I've read stories of pilots been drinking on the job and shit. They get fired and shit.
it's funny. There was a guy in United in London, one of those airline guys over there. He showed up to work drunk and they arrested him, and that was it. Like,
yeah, all the crazy technology now. I think they just showed China got some new planes and shit that could do some wild shit. Like, I think they just made there's a plane that is like the longest one trip plane. I think it could go like 20 hours, like straight, like to Australia or some shit. Like,
right now, the one I'm looking forward to is the I call it the modern day version of the Concorde. It's the one that United just put in the order for. Just imagine like a few hours, bro. Like, I think it's like 3 or 4 hours from New York to London. Like something ridiculous.
What? Like 1,000 miles an hour, right? Because planes go like what, like 600 miles an hour or some shit?
Yeah, well, give or take, yeah.
Yeah, bro. It's gonna be crazy, bro. And getting on a flight and just traveling is so bro. I feel like back in the days, you could take a chick. Like now, these chicks want to go to Mykonos, Fergie. Like, you know what I'm saying? You can't just take them to fucking to Vegas anymore, to New York. Now it's like, yo, they see Mykonos and they see that you gotta fly them across the country now, bro. Like it's just easy to go around the world now.
Man,
it's insane.
I've had some passengers. It was just like, okay, so I'm picking up so and so and taking. It's not my business.
Yeah,
but
damn.
They get flued out.
These girls taking pictures in the private jets now. I heard there's a private jet that doesn't even it stays on the ground and you could just pay to take pictures with it and shit.
Yeah, I'm sure you do it. Yeah,
chicks are crazy, bro. You guys are nuts.
We had one girl, man. She bought a whole photo shoot, the tripod, cameras, everything to do her own pictures while she was flying. I was like, whatever floats your boat.
I'm gonna let you know, the first time I fly private, y'all, I promise you it won't be on Instagram. I'm not gonna take a picture of the Mercedes that drives me up to the plane and then the red carpet is there, then I walk up the flight. I'm not about to make a TikTok and do that shit. Shout out to everyone who flies private and doesn't put it on Instagram, yo.
It's just a means of transportation.
Yeah, but it's luxury. It's just I don't know. People, I don't know.
I just call it an Uber, bro. It's an Uber Lux if you want to look at it like that.
Uber Lux. There it is, my brother DJ Fergie. I appreciate you, bro. And we're gonna keep rocking these clubs. Yo, plug your Friday party, bro. You've been doing that for a minute.
Yeah, so every Friday we do Forbidden Fridays at Premier Lounge. Shout out to the Link Up family, T, Lauren, Smalls, OG, Butterfuko, the whole family. Shout out my brother Slim City, you know what I mean? Slim City every week. Reese, DJ Dion, family, we working, bro. We working.
There it is. My brother, I appreciate you, dog.
Love,
DJ
man.
Fergie, bow.
Keep grinding.